always have in mind that my work should reflect our world, like our society. And I see my dress as a piece of art, and I try to create something that tells a story rather.
Shared Diversity podcast. So can you tell us a little bit more about how did you actually get into the industry? How did you come into the fashion industry? And was that a motivating factor that you didn't see yourself represented, or was it truly for the love of fashion?
I've been creative since I was a kid. I started painting before I can talk, more or less. So I've always been, I started to love fashion, I think, when I was a teenager. And fashion became a way for me to express myself. And since I have the art as a background, everything I do, it comes from an art perspective, and art is a way to express ourselves. And it's also a mirror of our society. I love going to museum because when you do, you can see, like, you can look back into 100 years ago, 200 years ago, how people lived and what their beauty standards were back in the days. And that is what I always have in mind, that my work should reflect our world, like our society. And I see my dress as a piece of art, and I try to create something that tells a story rather than more than just clothing. And I always have like a back and forth. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grow up. I'm creative, and I tried different kind of stuff, and nothing really stick with me. And I think it was when 2 years ago, when I quit my full-time job, I started to create my first big dress. I was starting for a music video, and I did this big dress, and this was fun. And when I started to, for me, that was like, it's a big dress. I didn't even know what the word couture was. And when I started to educate myself and learn everything about it, I fell in love, because it's the word of traditions. It's the word of, beautiful craftsmanships. And I love everything about that. I love history, and I love to look into how we have so many years of traditional, beautiful handcraftsmen that we don't have today. That we don't value quality in the same way that they did back in the day. So in the history, clothing is something that you took care of, and you let it down to your daughters and your daughter's daughter, and it's something you valued in a different way. And couture, for me, it's not only because I get to be creative and create these beautiful pieces, it's also that I want to bring back quality and value for hand and for craftsmanship. And I love going to museum, because when you do, you can see, like, you can look back into 100 years ago, 200 years ago, how people lived and what their beauty standards were back in the days.
If you love this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe and share this with someone who needs to hear this. And I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.